Hi, this is Zoe from The Whisper Tree, and I am someone who is very passionate about supporting women to help themselves self-support and deal so much better with their negative feelings and thoughts, and also kind of live more of an inspired life. So I do a weekly video about how to go about this. I'm all about tools and techniques as well. I love working with those so that we have something to kind of work with in the moment when we're struggling, as we all do. So this week's video is all about what I like to call holding our light, kind of being that beacon of light for loved ones, those around us, and in particular children. If you are parents, then this is really for you as well, because obviously as a mum, I can appreciate how children do struggle and can struggle, especially with friendships, groups, transition to big schools and all those sorts of things. So this is really, really good if you are a parent. This is going to really help you as well. So I'm going to kind of go in a little bit more personal now. I don't usually, but I do like to kind of use real life examples as well when I can, because I feel it really helps others to understand where I'm coming from, and also help to kind of grasp these concepts that I'm giving you and to see how to work with them. So I've got the perfect example, because last week, what's the date today? The date's 29th of November 2018. So last week, my eldest son, who's just started at his secondary school, kind of came home and was sort of saying that he was having lots of problems at school. I also found out from another mum as well, and it was very unexpected for us, because he had been getting on okay until this point. And so he was kind of really upset with what had been going on in his form. He wanted to move form. He was by himself a lot of the time at playtimes and things like that, because he was trying to find his other group of friends who he wasn't with in his classes. So all of his friends are in another form, where he's in a different form to them. So he kind of is spending a lot of time trying to find them. It's a big school. Anyway, all of this was going on, but I just want to kind of give you a picture of it. And obviously that really took me by surprise, because generally I have regular spiritual practices. I meditate. I'm very connected, but this completely threw me off balance. And I guess as a mum, we worry, we really feel for them. We want to fix it. We're not there, are we, to kind of guide them through those moments either. And we just don't really get a full picture of things either. And what surprised me was how quickly, I guess this is the point of this video, is that how quickly I became off balance, where, because as I say, I'm someone who considers myself quite balanced generally, and as well, I'm running energy and I'm supporting clients and all of this, but so basically what happened was we were kind of caught up, myself and my husband, in the sort of turmoil of emotions, a bit of a whirlwind of emotions, not the drama, but just really worrying about him. And then we sort of started to make these kind of emotional knee-jerk decisions and reactions, and I sort of contacted the form tutor and asked if he could be moved, and just wasn't really, I guess, thinking straight, because I was so caught up in my emotions. And I guess, I think, what I feel happens is when we're in that state, when we're not in a good place and we're worrying, we've got our fear thoughts coming up, or anger, or whatever it is, we're not making balanced decisions at all, but also we're feeling uncomfortable, because we don't want to feel those feelings, do we? It's not nice to be in that situation. We just want to fix it. So we start to try and control and, manipulate the situation how we can, just anything, so that we're not feeling these uncomfortable feelings. And also I felt very much that through the energy of my thoughts and my feelings, our feelings being really hundreds of times more powerful than our thoughts, I was simply co-creating more of the same for my son, and I was adding to the situation in a way through that energy. Which is really what I didn't want to be doing, but I was so caught up in how I was feeling, and it was kind of becoming a bit about me rather than him. So I suddenly kind of had this, realization that I needed to sort myself out. I was no good to him like that. I wasn't making, really the right kind of intuitive, heartfelt decisions that I usually manage to make. I like to be very intuitive and in tune and feel into a situation, feel what's right, and then act upon it. So I thought, right, I've just got to sit through this. I've got to kind of just recognize that I'm feeling like this. Don't worry about anything else, just feel it, to start to let them go a little bit. And I was starting to calm down, and it is a little bit about that analogy. You probably heard the analogy of the oxygen mask in a plane. They always say fit it to yourself first, to your face first, before you help somebody else. And it's exactly that. You know good to somebody if you're in a bit of a state. And so, I knew that was the next step, was to just sit and, center myself, calm myself down, start to release those emotions and the kind of the thoughts just start to dissipate then. And I was then able to reconnect. And what I mean by that is just stilling myself, going within and just bringing my focus down to my heart and just reconnecting to the heart, so that I come more from that loving, unconditional, non-judgmental place. And from there, because you're more connected, you then become more intuitive. The intuitive flow of thoughts starts up again. You get guidance that is perfect for you and for others in the moment. And I could absolutely support him in a from a higher place, from a heartfelt space again. When this happens, when we kind of connect more, we our perspective starts to shift. So we start to get more mental clarity around the situation. We start to see it in a different way. We start to see it in a more positive way, because I very much believe that the universe sets up and kind of divinely orchestrates everything that happens in our lives, because it's what we need to learn to kind of propel us forwards and get us back onto the right path, or wherever we're meant to be. So all of these things are set up for children, for adults alike, to have some learning within them. And then obviously we do co-create our own situations and realities through the power of our thoughts and feelings, because as I said, they're so powerful. So it kind of gave me that faith for him that it's okay, it's all good. That's one of my personal mantras, all good, however kind of crappy, excuse my language, but sometimes things do get crappy, don't they? And it's really difficult, and we're feeling that struggle, but it is all for our higher good. If we can really turn the situation around and see it like that, don't see ourselves as victims, to circumstances, but rather that these are setting up to help us, it becomes very empowering, and it's you kind of build this faith within you that it's okay, he's going to absolutely learn to stand up more for himself, to ask his friends to come and meet him, because he's so quiet. He won't put himself forward. As it happened, he couldn't move forms in the end, and it's made him sort of look at what's in front of him and start to make more friends and connections within the form, instead of chasing rainbows and chasing his other friends around the school. And he can absolutely still be friends with them, but just sometimes you have to sort of get on with what you've got in front of you, and lovely good things come out of that as well. So it's just about seeing it like that. So what I have done with my son since then is I've been running energy. I do that every week now, full healing on him. I do transference healing, so I kind of run a set of procedures on him. It really shifts him through. So when he really is in the struggle, it shifts him through. But obviously I feel that he very much needs tools and techniques to work with in the moment, because I'm not going to be there kind of sitting on his shoulder and guiding him through moment by moment. It's just, he needs to learn to kind of empower himself. So I gave him a very specific kind of technique, which I teach to my clients that come to me, and it's something I use all the time. Especially in those moments when I'm struggling for whatever reason, I just use it in the moment. And the beauty of it is no one knows that you're doing it. So I've been kind of reminding him and working with him every day since, and I will continue to do that until I feel that he knows how to do it himself and he feels that power as well, and he remembers in the moment when he's struggling to come back to it. So it is just that centering technique, super simple. So I just sit with them every morning and I say, okay, close your eyes and put your hand over your heart, and just know that from your heart comes all of this amazing energy, because our feelings come from our heart, and it gives out such an energy. So when you place your hand, not touch it, but place your hand over your chest where your heart is, you will feel a heat coming from it, or a slight vibration, because we do vibrate at a very quantum level. And it's the energy that you're feeling between the two, from the hand to the heart to the hand. So that's the first thing that I do, is to just get him to sit still, close his eyes, go within. That brings a focus within, and just feel that heart energy coming out. Okay, and you can absolutely feel that. He always feels the heat. And then I say, okay, and I just want you to imagine that heart space opening up, and this feeling coming out, this really positive love feeling, because love is of such a high vibration that negativity simply cannot exist when we're in that higher vibration. That's why I teach myself and my clients to come back to that heart space when they're struggling. Okay, and what he's now done is, when you watch maybe you know what I mean, when you watch a kind of a Facebook live and you get all people are hearting, when you get a really big speaker and everyone's loving it and you get all these hearts coming up. I said, just imagine it like that. So now in his mind he sees all these hearts coming out, and he's added himself this white light as well, so it's like a starburst, and he said he can see stars as well. And I said, that's great if that's how you visualize it. I'm trying to get him to connect into that feeling as well, because feelings are so much more powerful than thoughts and mental imagery. But we're getting there, we're building on it. And I said, okay, now every time you feel that you don't feel confident enough to speak in front of your friends, or to ask what you want, or someone in the form's annoyed you, or you feel uncomfortable, you just come back to this heart space. And I said, you can just touch your tie. He's got a school tie. Just touch like that. If that helps you to connect it, and you don't need to close your eyes, because eventually what you'll find, and I find, is that just by bringing the focus down into the heart, and I'm doing it now, I can feel that heart connection already. So that's it. That's all he does. So every time he's struggling, he just heart connects, sees it in his head. It takes not even a minute, and he'll just find that his kind of feelings shift a little bit, his perspective shifts a little bit. I said to him, as I will say to you, it's not going to work if you just do it once or twice, or if you just do that and that's it. It's not going to work. It's something that you need to go back to every day. So maybe start your morning, take a few minutes just to heart connect, and if you do that every day, you will remember in the moment to come back to that, and it just becomes a practice. It's like I always say, you cannot run the London Marathon if you've never jogged or ran or done anything. You can't just go in and run 26 miles. Well, I don't know, you might be able to, but I know I certainly wouldn't do it. And I should think the majority of the people are the same as well. You've got to build up to that. You're just not ready. You're going to fail before you start. So that's what happened to me. I know it's a bit personal, but I'm just hoping by sharing that you understand that we all struggle. We absolutely all struggle. To me and then that's normal, and we need that struggle to kind of grow and get to where we need to be. But it's also, how quickly you move through it. That's the important thing. It's not important that you're having those struggles. It's just how quickly you move through it. And by working with tools and techniques like the heart connection technique, these can absolutely help to support you. There are many things you can do, but I love this one. I find it really powerful, really effective. But that is really because I'm doing it. I do it every day. I have this kind of non-negotiable spiritual practice that you know, I make sure I do. And because I'm doing that, I remember to come back to it in the moment when I am struggling. I hope this helps. If you would like to share it, comment on it, please do. You know, I always feel it's good to share these things to people who may need to hear them at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.